There's a moment I see happen with almost every retiree who crosses through the $2 million mark, and it's not what you'd expect. It's not excitement. It's not confidence. It's not that finally I made it, woohoo feeling that you'd assume comes with that milestone, right? It's something far more surprising. People hit $2 million, they look at that number, and they feel a strange mix of relief and worry at the exact same time. Relief, obviously, because they built something meaningful. Worry, because suddenly the weight of protecting it, stretching it, and using it wisely becomes very real. They start asking questions that they never asked at $500,000 or even $1 million. What does this need to support? How do I make sure I don't make a mistake? What if the market turns at the wrong time? How much of this will taxes take? What's the smartest way to turn this into income without draining it too fast? And the biggest mindset shift of all, they stop thinking about growth and start thinking about coordination. Because once you hit $2 million, the game changes, the risks change, the decisions change, and the margin for error becomes much smaller than most people expect. This is the part nobody prepares you for, but it's the moment almost every high saver eventually experiences. Hi, I'm Mark Wisniewski, President of Southern Incomes. If you find this helpful, go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you want help building a retirement plan that brings clarity and confidence to your next chapter, you can book a time with me using a link in the description. Now, let's talk about what really happens financially and emotionally when someone crosses through that $2 million milestone, and the mindset shift that often determines whether they feel calm or anxious in retirement. 1. The shift from growth to stewardship. For most of your working life, the focus is simple. Earn, save, invest, and grow. The measure of success is the size of your account. Hey, here's my account. Aren't you impressed? But something changes at $2 million, especially when retirement is near. People stop seeing the number as a goal and they start seeing it, well, as a responsibility. They start thinking in terms of, how do I keep this stable? How will I use this without fear? How do I protect it from taxes? How will I make sure it lasts long enough? Because when you've built $2 million, you don't see it as extra money. You do see it as your paycheck for the next 30 years. You see it as your health care plan, your Social Security backup, your inflation buffer, your future protection, your travel money, your legacy, your sense of security. The mindset shift is simple, but so powerful. You're no longer building wealth, you're managing it now. And managing requires a completely different set of decisions. 2. The shift from returns to reliability. At $200,000 saved, a bad market year, well, it's frustrating. But at $2 million saved, a bad market year, that's emotional. The swings feel bigger, the stakes feel higher, the timing matters more. This is why people at $2 million start asking new questions. How vulnerable am I to sequence of return risk? What happens if the market drops early in my retirement? Should I still be aggressive? How do I create reliable income without cutting out all my growth? And the answer isn't to become conservative overnight, but it is to start thinking differently. You must start focusing on smoothing out your withdrawal risk, reducing unnecessary volatility, creating stable income pockets, protecting those early years of your retirement, coordinating your investment buckets with your tax buckets. At $2 million, reliability starts to matter just as much as return. You still want growth. You still want long-term opportunity, but you want those things in balance with stability, because it's stability that's going to allow people to sleep better at night. 3, the shift from taxes later to taxes now. It matters more than ever. At $2 million saved, taxes quietly become one of your biggest lifelong expenses. Again, at $2 million saved, taxes quietly become one of your biggest lifelong expenses. Not those market losses, not your poor spending decisions, taxes. Because here's the reality. Most of your retirement income will come from accounts that are taxed as ordinary income. Those 401ks, traditional IRAs, those old rollover plans, and $2 million required minimum distributions, or RMDs, later in life, they can become shockingly large. This is the moment people start saying, how do I avoid unnecessary taxes? What will my tax bracket look like at 73 or 75? Should I do Roth conversions in my 60s? Should I draw from certain accounts earlier, even if I don't need that money yet? It's not about beating the IRS. It's about coordinating withdrawals in a way that avoids unnecessary surprises. The mindset shifts from I'll pay taxes when they come to how do I plan for taxes decades before they even show up. This shift often saves retirees years of stress and sometimes thousands of dollars over time. Not guarantees, just smart planning. 4, the shift from am I on track to how do I use this wisely? When you're younger, the question is simple. Am I saving enough? But once you hit $2 million, that question disappears. The new question becomes, how do I use this money in a way that supports my life without overspending or even underspending? Because here's the emotional reality of high savers. They're often more scared of spending than running out of money. They spent decades living below their means. They've been rewarded for that discipline. They've been trained to save, not to spend. So when the time comes to use their money, it's harder than they expect. I see people with $2 million who feel guilty about buying a new car. I see people with $2 million when a young Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, had his net worth first reach $10 million, he drove a 1997 Honda